Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode 106, by the way.
106, whoa.
106 in Park, baby.
Wow. Classic.
Cool.
Is that where we are now?
Have you ever wanted to go on 106?
Yeah, back in the day. 106 and Lookout.
106 and Lookout would be fire.
Actually, I want to say, actually hard. I wonder if Free or AJ watch anime.
Nah, I doubt it. I really highly doubt it. I don't know, maybe AJ. I would be surprised. I would be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
yes,
oh, okay.
I did want to go on there at one point, yeah.
This is bigger than us. Of course, I am Meelz, and I am here with Jay Giacotsu himself.
Yes, I am here.
And we are here, wow, like half an hour after breaking news that like broke my spirit in a kind of way that I didn't expect.
Yeah. It's a little tough.
Rest in peace to Virgil Abloh, man.
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
That's crazy.
Even saying that is wild.
It was the last thing I was expecting to see on this Sunday. So, yeah.
It's a trailblazer, creative mind. I appreciate from one creative to another. I will not even front like some of his, just the things that he was able to accomplish and the box that he was able to think out of.
Yeah.
Also,
it was a short period of time too.
Yeah. He also like inspired me to think out of the box, whether it's with like a playlist cover or like just stuff that's just kind of like, I don't know, like bigger than just the subject. It was always bigger than just sneakers. Absolutely. A little bit.
Yeah, no, for real. It's yeah, man, I don't know, dude. It's extremely unfortunate, I would say. Like,
still pretty fresh.
He's 41 years old, you know. So, yeah, it's awful, man. It's awful.
That's crazy, man. Everyone, stop. Go get yourself checked out. Go see a doctor or something. You never know what's going down. You never know what's gonna happen. He was diagnosed 2 years ago, and now he's no longer here. So you know what? Rest in peace to a pioneer, creative mind, a creative juggernaut, Virgil Abloh. How was your Thanksgiving, bro?
It was cool, man. Very low key. Yeah, family. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Listen, when you throwing Thanksgiving in the new crib, when is that gonna happen?
Well, yeah, I mean that's gonna happen. I need a little bit more time. Maybe next year. Well, next year I'll probably be in a different crib, but. I'm not like huge on Thanksgiving like that though, Yeah, it's not like my thing, I guess you could say. Family time is cool, of course, but I'm not like the normal Thanksgiving type, I guess you could say.
Right.
I don't even care for turkey like that,
I don't eat turkey. I haven't eaten turkey on Thanksgiving for like maybe the past decade.
Yeah, I think we need to move on from that,
I think
turkey's dry, bro.
Turkey's not that great.
Turkey's dry.
It's like for like how we've all moved on from dairy, the dairy milk.
It's over. Yeah, game over, man. We don't need it no more. Like, who cares?
Cows, y'all got it again. We get it from like nuts and other plant-based.
No, seriously though, like that's real shit. I mean, you don't think about it the way you just said it, but yeah, I think it is. Just some things we gotta move on from, man.
Some things, yeah, just as a culture, as a society, as something of
body slam yourself.
Yeah, yeah. In the bathroom.
Yeah. How was yours though, man? How's the family, bro?
It was very, very calm. I've caught up on a lot of things. I feel like I needed these 2 days, and to be honest, I probably need 2 more. But Thursday and Friday off is beautiful. I've caught up. I've binged so many things in the past little number of days.
That's awesome.
I also started Shining Pearl, but I'm still at the first gym.
Wow. Yes,
I haven't gone.
I've been seeing stuff online. I saw X was playing a good bit in our group chat and whatnot, but yeah, I haven't even bought the game. So
wow. See, well, listen, that's a little preview of Mount Silver coming up next month, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you don't expect much next month. Oh, that's perfect. Look, I'll have it by then.
Yeah, next month. We're gonna do it for December. We're gonna do it the little holiday cheer, hopefully. I don't know. We gotta find an update on Pat if he's even. Pat doesn't even know the game came out.
I know, right?
He's like, "Oh, I thought we were waiting for Arceus."
That's something Pat would say. Yes,
absolutely. Let's see. Okay, so we have some minor news, big news, minor. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah.
Entertainment District starts next week.
So next week, so we can move on from the movie officially, and we really get to popping off some new content, basically.
Absolutely. Sunday, December 5th.
Okay.
That is when you can expect a brand new era of Demon Slayer. We've been in this era for like 2 damn years.
It really feels so bad. Like, especially like the series ending. I feel like, the series has been over, or the manga's been over for so long.
Yeah.
That like
since like early last year.
Yeah, seriously. And so like really before the pandemic got crazy, no?
No, it ended during the pandemic. It ended like summer, like June 2020.
That's right. The manga.
Right. The manga ended, but the series itself, when it aired in Japan, I think it ended in like 2019, maybe early, like 2019, early 2020 type stuff. Yeah, maybe
so we're really waiting.
No, 2019. The movie came out in 2000.
I know you're right, bro. So it was.
Listen. Or did it? Did it come out in 2020? I don't know anymore. I don't know.
I don't think that was last year.
No, it came out in 2020.
You sure?
No.
Yeah.
No, it came out in 2020 because then the dub came out earlier this year. Am I right? Or did that come out in 2020?
I thought the dub was last year.
Don't say that.
I'm serious, bro.
Yo,
it's been a long time. It has been a long time. This is exactly why we're confused right now.
It came out in Japan October 16th, 2020.
Right, but the anime started 2019.
Yes, anime started 2019. So we're now getting this new fresh anime. 2 years. 2 years is not that long. I mean, in anime terms, like go ahead.
Well, this series was so big, though. You would have thought season 2. You would have thought we'd be in season 3 right now. The movie pushed it as well, though.
I'm glad they didn't decide to rush it or something.
I mean, there was no need, considering like they were doing so well in sales. I think they made the Forbes list, as a matter of fact.
I mean, they're gonna make a lot of lists in 2021 because it's still one of the highest grossing movies. I would say in terms of like 2021, it's probably still within the top 50 of like highest grossing movies in the United States. Which is incredible for an anime movie, like absolutely incredible. So yeah, the Entertainment District starts next week. Tengen Uzui is our favorite, the most flamboyant of all the Hashiras. New hijinks, new adventures. I'm not sure what else is gonna happen, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if we get anything past the Entertainment District arc, but we will see. We will absolutely see.
How long for season 3? Another year? Another calendar year?
Gotta be 2 years.
2? Yeah, I can see it.
Another 2 years.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, absolutely. One Piece also hit 1,000 episodes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We haven't seen it.
I'll probably never get there. But it is really, I mean, that's a huge achievement though. I mean, but I wonder how many of 1,000 you really need to watch, just out of curiosity. Somebody have like a broad like list cut down. It's probably like 600 episodes.
Yeah, that's still way too much.
It's still a lot, right?
And there's over 1,000 chapters, so it's not like you can quickly like
I'll never catch up to that either.
Nah,
it's just something I won't be able to do.
But
I'm not like, you used to say that and like feel a certain type of way about One Piece, but now that I've at least watched like, well, I don't want to say 20%. It's not. It can be more like 10 or 8.
But 2.
Yeah, I know. But even though watching what I've seen, like, I have respect for it. I'm saying I can never catch up because of how much it is, not because of like how good or bad it is.
Right. Okay. All right. So over this Thanksgiving thingamajigger, I've been binging Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is
it one of those ones, Meelz?
It is really good. Mm-hmm. Naruto Shippuden is like Naruto turned up to like the max, like to the max level. We get all of that. Now, the thing I hated about the original series of Naruto for the most part, and I didn't really hate it, I thought it was like cool and stuff like that, all little backstories. It had like endless amount of training on training. I'm training. And yes, Naruto Shippuden has quite a bit of training because we got to get Naruto very, very strong. But I love the fact that in this series thus far, they have kept away Sasuke and Naruto from each other for so long. And the moments they do share with one another are so significant. I was like, wow. Like every day I watch a new anime and my childhood of like Dragon Ball Z is like ruptured slightly. By like, wow, there's all this better anime.
I know,
here.
right? It's like there was all this other stuff I was just missing. I didn't even continue to stand anything else but Dragon Ball, and that's a crazy like thought process because when we were kids, I mean, Dragon Ball Z was just so good, you know, like because it's a completely fresh thing. Everything that we were getting, like,
and it's still good. It's just not
for sure. It hit on a different level at that time because everything was super new. But it's like you said, we had this whole other story of something just as good, if sometimes not better, on the other side. And you know, we were just the kids that were trying to go Super Saiyan instead of run with our arms out.
I feel bad. Not that bad because I feel like I'm at a good place in my life to watch Naruto Shippuden and not overreact like a little kid.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm there. I'm away from Motorcycle Gang.
I see that. You niggas riding out on this Sunday. They're leaving church.
I think it's good. My favorite part has thus far been they have one of those moments, you know, all right, the Goku return moments, it lands on Namek and it's like, wow, look at that. They have one of those moments in the show that I absolutely like gasped and I was like, wow, like one of those, like Naruto returns in the battle against Pain. So there's Pain, one of the members of the Atsuki. He was like super strong, obviously, because everyone in the Atsuki is fucking, or Asuke or Atsuki, whatever. Akatsuki. There you go, Akatsuki, I think. Is super strong, and Pain is like badass motherfucker, and now he can split into like 6 himself, and he's like, oh, and everyone is in peril right now, and then Sakura screams Naruto, and then Naruto appears out of nowhere, and he's in like god form and shit like that, and I'm just like, whoa,
like, no, that works. That's exciting, right?
Yeah, that was fucking amazing. Like, just look it up on YouTube, like Naruto Returns Against Pain. Like, it is. I was like, wow, they built up to, like, it's great build. Now, everything I heard about this part that I'm about to watch has been bullshit. Everyone that says, like, it got, the first half is good, and then the second half, it kind of loses its way. Right. Especially when everyone is, like, wildly overpowered, and it's really only about Naruto and Sasuke at this point, which, so I agree, because Sasuke is wild OP, and Naruto is also OP. But they haven't really touched one another. Mm-hmm. So it's not the battle of the OP versus the OP yet, but you know that Naruto about to smash through everything. But I have started this war arc. If you guys listen to the show, and if you haven't done already on Twitter, please let me know what to expect from this war arc. Because the only thing I heard about it is that it's super fucking long. And I actually been bouncing back between the manga and the anime because sometimes, you know, you don't really want to watch people talk.
Yeah. Yeah,
sometimes I want to read.
Pace. You just gotta read.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to read people talk, and I was like, "Oh, I got the gist." That's it. Like, manga dialogue is so much more succinct and quick and to the point than anime dialogue with like flashbacks and all this
5 minutes
music.
Yeah. A shot of the countryside before actually getting into dialogue. Here's the sun, real quick. You know, turn 3 pages at that point.
Absolutely, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna knock this out. 2 chapters. That's like literally like it's like 8 minutes of reading versus a 22-minute episode about this one thing. So, you know, I've been jumping back and forth. I feel very proud of myself. It's awesome. Really good.
Going from Naruto. I mean, I think as anime fans and, you know, manga fans, I think it's important that you knock out the
Blasics,
the Mount Rushmores.
Mount Rushmores. I still got to go. I think next year is definitely going to be my Bleach year.
Bleach, yeah. We actually started rewatching Bleach here about a month ago, just randomly.
Okay.
But Bleach is great. I've seen Bleach a good bit though growing up, so I like Bleach a lot.
You started something the other day.
Yeah, I did start on Taxi. Um, Also, but look, you know what's crazy? I haven't. Odd Taxi needs my undivided attention because we started Kumi Can't Communicate as well,
All right.
and
Well,
it's the cutest shit in the world, and I've been tapped into it like a motherfucker. So
I'm all right. I'm not recommending you anything anymore ever in life. I'm just not. I'm just not. Everything I recommend, it's like, all right, never mind. I was watching something else which is cuter, greater,
no,
faster,
no,
stronger, better.
I like it so far.
I don't need you to like it. I don't care if you like it.
Kumi Can't Communicate. Y'all should check that. It's a rom com, guys. It's a rom com. Shoujo.
I'm over you. Let's get to what the main event of this is for, which is the live action Cowboy Bebop that we're going to talk about. So we're going to take a break and we'll be back up with talking about that series that apparently both of us watched at some point or something. Yeah, we'll see you when we get back.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. How are you feeling about Cowboy Bebop, bro? The live action.
How are you? How did you feel? You told me
adaptation.
what. Let me see, let me hear how you feel.
Sure, bro.
I feel like we have different opinions on this.
We might. Well, so me and Jamal got through like 2 or 3 episodes in New York. And my initial thought process that I did not like, it's very cinematic. Jamal said it as well. Like, we were just watching it. I think the fight scenes in those first 3 episodes are a little like underwhelming to me. It was hard for me to like really get into until like I hit maybe the middle of the season, and I thought the last like 3-4 episodes were really really good. Like I actually like tapped into it. I had like a really good time with the ending of the actual first season or whatever we're calling it. But it took me a minute, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I said, it's extremely cinematic. I thought it had its fun moments. I thought the characters don't sometimes like match up with what I was used to in the actual anime. I thought like
Vicious is bad.
Vicious is it's bad, you know. Like I didn't.
I
really
don't like
care
Vicious.
for. I didn't really care for Faye's character actually too much either. Like
oh really?
Really, you know. I don't know like what it was about it. It seemed like a big comedy relief type of feel for a little bit there.
I think you like how Faye was represented before, which is definitely a character, but also someone who's very much so strong in her own.
Yes.
And what they did to her in this show and kind of like smoothing out the edges, I could see you not liking that.
And I wasn't mad at it. I think it did make sense with how the pacing of the show, and I did like how they took basically they took specific episodes from the anime and tied it into like 2 or 3 episodes, and then you finally got some type of conclusion on the last set or whatever the case may be. I did like that, and I even didn't mind the changes and stuff like that, just to make it more fluent all the way through, which is why I really did enjoy that last bit. Those last 3 or 4 episodes were just like really good. Honestly, like
Yeah,
good storytelling, I guess is what I mean.
I agree. I agree. Wow, I thought we would disagree. I thought you would have said you would have hated it, and it's so ass.
No, I thought
But
if you're gonna continue it, it was perfect.
I think if you're trying to compare this to the anime, you probably won't enjoy it as
You're
much.
cooked. It's over.
Because the anime is such a timeless, crystallized, amazing, awesome piece of just great. I don't even know if you want to call it cinema, just great animation in general. It's perfect animation. It's the perfect story. Shinichiro Watanabe is he's just a genius. You know what I'm saying? He's provided so much, and this show added I didn't watch it when we talked about Cowboy Bebop earlier this year, but I didn't watch it when it originally aired. I watched it like during the pandemic, and I was like, wow, this is like, even episode 5, like that we talked about earlier this year, I was like, this is one of the greatest pieces of like things that I've ever seen ever in life.
Yeah, like, it's like true art. Like,
yeah. So when I went into first of all, I heard all of the opinions before I actually opened the thing on the show. So it paused me from, especially after we came from Anime NYC, I kind of needed like a 4-day break from anything anime related anyway.
Yeah, it was very overwhelming. So,
yeah,
I understand.
I didn't want to just jump in and like, yeah, let's continue this train. No, I'm not built that way. I need time. I need space. But I mean, initially, still to me, Vicious is, there's something about him that doesn't scream menacing to me. And then on the internet, someone pulled up of that king from Shrek and how he looks so much like him.
Isn't it weird? The long head and the yeah. It was rather that or like Game of Thrones-esque type. You know, he didn't seem.
And he doesn't have any bars. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like as
he's
a
just
true
like this
villain,
flamboyant, like, you know, mob boss type feel.
Yeah, he's deadly. Of course, there's a little bit of like, luxury to him as well, based on his family and his background.
Was ass, which was like when dude came out to give him information about not catching. I think it was about getting the rest of the red eye or catching Spike or something like that, and they show him like a quick, like he cut that dude up and his neck was like cut open a little bit on the floor.
Right.
It was just like a really quick scene, but it was awful, man. There's nothing there.
Shout out to the people at Sound Only, Micah Peters and Justin Charity. They had a great review on this, and their main thing of like Vicious was he's someone who lived in the shadows so much that to see him out prevalently in this series kind of takes away it takes away a lot of the intrigue, death, and mysteriousness that was incorporated within the original show. And I'm gonna give my whole introduction, thing about why we should separate the anime from the show, because I think they're just, at this point, I consider them like two separate entities in my head, kind of.
Yeah, it's better that way.
But I thought that was strange. I think the casting actually for the main 3 characters of Spike, Jet, and Faye, I actually thought, I would say, if I had to rank them, I would say I feel like Jet is the best casting, then Spike,
visually,
then Faye. Yes.
The acting I thought was awful.
Really?
I'm not going to front on you. The Jet acting I just did not like at all. I didn't like the stuff with like the daughter. I didn't like the dialogue.
Now, why didn't you like that? Because why didn't you like that?
No, I like the idea of what they were like, just adding on to his character and his story. I just didn't like the actual play out and the acting of it. It was like it just seemed unserious. Like the part where like, well, this is near the end, so if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. A little bit of spoilers, but when the daughter's like, I want to go home, Daddy, and she's like talking to the other, I'm like, that wouldn't happen, man. That wouldn't happen. It just
You
wouldn't,
know?
bro. It just wouldn't, bro. Like I would have got him and be like, yeah, that's not your dad, bro. That's not your dad. Don't be calling him no daddy, bro. What's wrong with you?
I think the one part, if I had to start with this comparison between the anime and the show, and the things that this live action series misses, which quite frankly all live action series of anime do. I mean, the thing about anime is you have so much more to play around with and so many more elements that you can kind of create because it is animated. Whereas things being told physically and visually aren't as, I guess, adventurous with their depiction. Like you can see how the background, I feel like the setting in Cowboy Bebop was also a major thing in the original anime, but in this show, a lot of it was really just background.
Yes.
Which I didn't like. I feel like there was so much in terms of like relationships and people and aliens and space and intergalactic and all this other stuff that plays such a pivotal part within the original show that the live action series just like it just plays as part of the motif of like they're space cowboys. So that's one thing I think they didn't, but overall the charm of the show, I think basically my idea is they created this for Netflix and they're creating this, it really depends. I don't think everyone who's seen this show has seen the original Cowboy Bebop. And I think that's what they created the show for.
Yeah. I mean, I don't expect anyone to like, especially if you haven't seen it and you're our age group. I don't know, especially if you're not just into anime at all. They wanted to make sure if you don't watch anime or know about the series, you could turn
you
it on.
You just click on it, Cowboy Bebop, and it was like, yeah, you could see. Yeah. And then if you're further interested, I guess you could watch the anime. Sure, but we don't own that.
I think I could make my dad watch this, and he would probably like be cool about it because he would probably enjoy it, honestly. But if I showed him the anime version, he would be sitting here like us, like, oh, this shit ain't nowhere near as good as it was. Like, well, it's not the point though. I don't. It's like you said, bro. It is hard to like separate them, but you really have to at least try to enjoy this.
So with them creating this for Netflix and for the people who may not have seen the anime, they had to do a lot of like, not everyone is as, not everyone is as complicated of characters. They have like somewhat complicated stories, but the stories are somewhat relatable to be like, okay, you can kind of understand this. I think Faye's story itself is a little bit more, there's a little bit more to it in the anime than there is in this live action.
Yeah.
And not to say that obviously they add a little bit more to it in the live action thing, but I think the mystery of it and where it leads her and just how she's reacting to all these kind of things is much more prominent and much more potent in the anime. But the anime itself, they definitely smoothed all the edges. They made a lot of, in terms of just like the love interest and stretching out the story between what's that girl's name? Nicole? What is her? Julia. Yeah. I was like, Nicole. She kind of gave me a Nicole Kidman type of thing. I don't know. Don't ask why. White women.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, but they, in terms of stretching out and elongating that story, whereas a lot of it was left with like intrigue, is like, but why? But this one, they spelled it out completely.
Right. And okay, so that right there is also like what really separates the two, because when you're watching the anime, you get a full sense of the three main characters more than anything. And then whatever story is being told at that very moment. I think you do have to keep up with a little bit more in this live action version, which is okay with me, because I think the characters, they do have like rich stories amongst themselves, like their own plot. But I just think a lot of it sometimes comes off as just plain. I don't like the acting in a lot of it. Mm-hmm. So if I say, oh, the first 3 episodes, to me they were so cinematic and like it felt, I feel like they
Does
were
it
trying
remind
to
you of
beat it.
any other show that you've ever seen?
It just, I don't know. It just seemed forced. Like the
Hmm.
characters didn't seem authentic for a minute. I don't know if like they got into a groove themselves or how they shot this. If they shot it from front to back, I don't know. But for whatever reason, those last 4 episodes just ride a lot better for me. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm just watching it through and I'm like, okay, I'm used to this now, or because when I will say when I did watch the first episode, I am kind of like I'm visualizing the anime. Unfortunately.
I think this series helped me understand the thought process between live action adaptations a lot more than probably any movie did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because it's so elongated. Like this is like roughly like 10 hours of show. Whereas
Yeah.
like, for instance, we'd look at like, I mean, sorry to compare it the worst with the worst, Dragon Ball Evolution, which is about maybe 2 hours of film and everything is crammed in, but they also, it's like, they decided in that movie, we want to take like Dragon Ball, but like make it for like the CW.
Right.
Like, and then incorporate like this white male and random, you know, grandpa and blah, blah, blah. And like, we're going to do these powers, but they're also going to be in high school and all this other stuff. And I think that that stretched it so far away from the original thing that, it didn't even feel close or even anything resembling to the series, which is kind of what you want. And I think Cowboy Bebop, this live action thing, it doesn't stray too far away like Evolution did. Thank God. It doesn't say we're going to completely remaster these they're taking the general base of the story
right,
and saying, okay, how can we build something for a mass audience, but also keep pretty much the things that make Cowboy Bebop. And a lot of it helped because of the soundtrack, which is a lot of jazz and like hip hop influenced jazz.
They got that
stuff.
shit off. I mean, that was flawless.
Well, I think that's what I pretty much they touted like, yo, it was going to be the original soundtrack. Like we're gonna do this one.
Yeah, well, I think that was the only way this was even gonna work. If they decided to go the other way, it's just another notch off.
It was like,
even the actual intro is hard. Like they obviously got the original, and I think the live action like of the actual intro is hard. But man, if I let my mama watch this shit, she probably wouldn't even know it was an anime. I don't have no idea. But if she actually watched this shit, I think she would enjoy it. But I don't know, Meelz. I am iffy about it. I'll take a season 2. Give me a season 2. I'll take it.
I will take a season 2, but it would have to be also the last season of this show.
I think it would be though. I can't see it going any further because after that they're just making shit up.
You're just making some shit up.
Yeah,
so
they still have stuff that they can tie in, obviously from the first season of the anime and push it through. I love the way it ended. Honestly, I thought it was really cool.
I think the fights and the kicks and all this other stuff and the choreography in the show, yes, very lame compared to the actual original show.
It just didn't hit you. The part where he's like fighting like the punching boards and like the bag and stuff. Like it's a really dope shot on the anime. It's like real dark and kind of grimy. And this one was just like he was just punching wood. They just wanted to recreate that famous scene, which I get, but it had no look to it.
Yeah. And then they kind of like reimagine a lot of the characters. Let me see. Like, also, how did you feel about Ein being introduced to the show? It was a very weird. This is not clearly not the same. He's kind of introduced as like, hey, I want to get this dog for my daughter. Hey, let me get this dog for my daughter. But Ein actually plays a role in the show because he is a human level intelligence dog who gets pretty much no burn in this series thus far.
No, you see Ein on on the one episode, obviously. But
Mhm.
then at the very last episode, which I won't spoil, but kind of leads into season 2 if there will be
Oh,
one.
please, just spoil it at this point, because it's at this point we're too long. I was going to talk about it eventually anyway, so if you want to go
Yeah.
ahead, please do so.
No, I mean I didn't know that they were going to do it like this. I thought there was no reports about it either. They kept it a pretty good secret.
I felt like I always felt like Ed was going to be part of the show at some point. Like
I mean,
I can't see how you wouldn't if you were even trying to stay close to the show.
mhm.
But her introduction is so frantic
It was
and
cool,
messy.
right?
No, I didn't like it at all.
You didn't like it. I thought it was
Fuck
all
no.
right. I thought the acting was bad. I mean, there's a lot of like a lot of this shit does lead to just like the acting was just not good enough. But
Right.
I'm trying to watch it in a sense of, okay, well, they had to do it. This is them. This is their little post credit scene, to say, hey, there's a season 2, whatever. We need that. But
Sometimes there isn't a season 2. I watched the Power Rangers, the movie that came out a couple of years ago.
you didn't hear about the Power Ranger stuff, man. Netflix is taking over the whole universe. You saw that?
Well, listen, is it going to be a brand new movie, or are they going to include the same people as in the movie?
It said new series and new movies. And
So
it's a
yeah,
whole universe. Yeah.
So that continuing thing isn't going to happen because they try to do some cool shit at the end and like hint at the Green Ranger for the next movie, and then we never got a next movie.
Yeah, they tried. What could we do?
So Ed, yeah, I didn't really like Ed. I think it's because her entire fit looked very, very cheap and very Nickelodeon-esque.
That happened a lot in this season.
I feel like
Ed was not wonderful. Spike looked cool.
Spike looked. I thought Jet looked cool.
Jet looked cool, but the script was whooping his ass. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, I can't just sit here like the script was whooping his ass, man.
I think the charm about the original anime series as well is that every episode is essentially an adventure. They're like one-off adventures. Eventually you get to an episode that plays within the grand scheme that leads to the end of the show. Mm-hmm. But roughly everything is an adventure in itself. Whereas they begin with a bounty, and then by the end you realize they don't get no money out of it, or they get a little bit of money out of it.
Yeah. But never the full thing.
Yeah. Whereas this one, they really try to like make sure that it was like this fluent, long story thing that continued over and over and on for a long ass time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna ask me what I prefer, obviously it's the OG, but
this works. Like for someone who has seen it or haven't seen it, I think it's still an interesting like story, no matter how you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? It's just about them getting everything else right, like the visual aspect of it, the fighting. Because if the fighting was 10 for 10, we would be having probably a little bit of a more positive conversation too. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we can live with great fight scenes, and like everything else may have fell off to some degree.
Right. But I mean, I don't hate this series at all.
No. It works.
I'm not even dismissing it. I think a lot of anime fans are really dismissing it because I think they're comparing it and holding. It's not that I don't hold the original Cowboy Bebop tight, but also I don't hold any series tight enough except maybe like My Hero Academia and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. So
the only things that would like really hurt you if they went completely sideways.
Yeah, and they've already did that for one of those, and I'm sure they're going to do it for another one. So
it's only a matter of time, you know. Everybody's favorite anime has something.
They've announced the One Piece live action, so they announced that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and they've announced the actors and who's going to be playing what. Casting looks amazing.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome.
But that is such a wider swath of fans that the opportunity, the chance for them, even if they make a slight change, which is no doubt will happen, because again, this is for Netflix. People's response to it are going to be rabid because it is One Piece, I think, is like 10 times popular than Cowboy Bebop.
It is.
Like 100%. Easily.
We just talked about the most successful manga of all time. So
yes.
Yeah.
So it is. I'm interested, but this gave me a better look at kind of like how live actions are depicted, and I think it kind of tempered my expectations for that. I don't expect a 1-of-1 remake, and nor do I think if they did do a 1-of-1 remake, I don't think it would have been as good. We would have been directly comparing the anime to this and deciding that some stuff just doesn't need to be live action. Whereas
could have been worse. They could have made a movie out of it.
Yeah, and which would have been bad. I think anime series being made into movies are a death nail.
I don't care, but I never want to see it again.
Yeah,
at least live action.
It's got to be a series.
Gundam's coming too to Netflix, so we'll see what that's about as well.
Listen, I don't know how they haven't got Attack on Titan and worried about that yet.
Man. It'll happen.
I'm sure it'll happen, but they need to like hop on that because Attack on Titan is the winner. It is the winner chicken dinner. But yeah, overall, I don't hate the series. I don't hold the anime as tight as like everybody else does. And halfway through the series, I kind of accepted that this is kind of its own thing based on how the story is unfolding and how they're opening up these stories in different ways, that I kind of accept the live action Cowboy Bebop as its own entity, which is, I think, what they wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, it's definitely what they wanted.
So, I mean,
hey man, check it out. If you haven't watched it, y'all go check it out.
Yeah,
it's worth it. It's worth it.
Last three episodes.
Oh man, they hit a stride for real.
Yeah, they hit a good stride. The whole the ending thing with Julia.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was really fucking with it.
I was like, wait a minute, why'd she turn into? But then again, I wasn't really paying attention to the story, so she might have been like a megalomaniac.
I didn't see any moments that would have thought she would have did something like that, which was okay because it was totally left, and it did shock me. So I guess
it reminded me of. Have you ever seen Luke Cage?
Yes.
Sorry, Justin got out the paint.
I did what I had to do, but Justin did get out the paint.
It reminded me of when they killed Cottonmouth, like 6 episodes in. And then suddenly, like, his mama took over, and she was now the big bad.
Yeah, she's almost worse than he was.
Yeah, and it was like, that's what the Julia thing reminded me of. It's like, wait, why is she doing it now? Like,
it's a nice twist, man. Nice twist.
I'm not here for it. I was like, is he gonna kill her? Does he have to kill her? Like, I don't get like what's gonna happen here.
She's like, you did this to me. Pow pow. I think out the window.
Pretty much. So I don't know.
Check it out.
I look forward to season 2. If season 2 is the last season, absolutely got to make it the last season. I'm interested if they will even want to reprise these roles. It feels like if they're going to get a season 2, like, we'd know soon.
Yeah, we'll be hearing it. But I haven't heard like success stories about this series yet. So
I've heard very critical response.
What's that new movie with Rock and Red Notice?
Fucking
everybody's talking about Red Notice right now. So.
Oh, yeah, are they?
Yeah, apparently it's the biggest Netflix movie of all time.
Get out of here. Bigger than Squid Games?
Yeah. Dead ass.
Bigger than Squid Game?
Yeah, bigger than Squid Game.
No way.
These records will keep getting broken. You already know what's up.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds is in this movie. No wonder.
Handsome man.
Anything else you wanted to talk about? I feel like we're ending early, but sometimes anything else that was on your mind, your anime related mind.
We're in the cusp of a lot of things going on right now. I'm reading Chainsaw Man again.
Oh, really?
Random, but yeah, I started reading my physical books. Really, that's what kind of happened. So
okay,
yeah.
I love it.
It's fun.
Let me see. Is there anything else that I need to look forward to?
Christmas.
It's almost Christmas. It's almost time to talk about our best. So all right. Let's talk about this. How we're gonna do this end of the year jazz. Because 1, we have to get back on AOT at some point. 2, end of the year joke. I'm thinking of, let's do, instead of doing like, these are my top favorite anime of the year, I love this and I love that, let's just do let's do it. It's all gonna be in the same episode. A best and worst episode. Best and worst of 2021.
I would love that.
Just good things and not so good things. And we talk about it and we have this discussion and we just go through like things that just, it could be like, you could have a best of like, let's say, I'm not going to use My Hero Academia in this example. You could say like one of my best things of the year was, that the Promised Neverland returned, and then you could be the worst thing is like they changed it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We can just kind of create a list of like things that we thought was cool. And maybe it's not just, maybe it's not just anime. Maybe we could sneak a little manga in there. Yeah, I know the manga guys are doing the manga thing, but just a little.
We can read too.
Yeah, we can read. They can watch too if they want to watch. But I'm sure they're reading more than watching. Okay, so that's going to be our plans at least for the rest of 2020. We've also got, brand new episode of like we said, Demon Slayer. The brand new arc is starting next Sunday. I think we'll wait a couple episodes before we even decide to talk about how it's going. The dub for Platinum N already started, so if you're into dubs, that is a thing. And yeah, you started one episode of fucking Odd Taxi and you said, you know what, never mind, I'm going to go to another show. So
we can't communicate.
Odd Taxi. Odd Taxi. Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, you can follow The Lookout at The Lookout RNC on Twitter. You can follow myself at Meelz TV. You can follow Jeff at Old News Boy. You can listen to us at The Lookout on RNC Radio, wherever you can find podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Oh, definitely go to our YouTube because we have a slew of new videos up from our Anime NYC adventure. Our RDC World video is doing pretty well.
That's awesome.
Let me see. Let me see what the view's looking like on this. You know what I'm saying? You hear the clicking and the clacking.
It's going up. Numbers is going up.
It's got to be going up. Ain't got no choice. It can't go down. Okay. Listen, 7 days, over 1,000 views on our RDC awesome. World video.
That's big time.
Look at that. Listen, if you ever talk about, Zeno said it himself. We run anime. This is the black people. Without black people, where would anime be at this point? It wouldn't be as popular as it was. It would be whack. Okay. So until then, follow us, on all mediums. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another new episode. Take care.